What if that nagging ache in your jaw isn't just dental trouble? Or the sudden fatigue that washes over you after breakfast isn't simply old age? Imagine this. You're halfway through a game of cards with friends when a cold sweat prickles your neck. Your left arm feels oddly numb, but you shrug it off. After all, you lifted groceries yesterday. By bedtime, the feeling fades and you forget about it. But what if your body wasn't just tired? It was begging for help. Let me tell you about Harold. A spry 68-year-old who still mows his own lawn. Harold noticed last summer that climbing his porch steps left him winded. "Getting rusty," he'd chuckle, patting his chest. Then came the indigestion, a burning sensation he blamed on his wife's spicy chili. But one evening, while watching the news, a dull ache crept up his jawline. No chest pain, no dizziness. Just a strange tightness, like someone was pressing a thumb into his face. By morning, his wife found him slumped in his recliner, pale and clammy. The ER doctor called it a silent heart attack, the kind that whispers instead of screams. Harold's story isn't unusual. Studies show 45% of heart attacks in seniors go unrecognized, dismissed as acid reflux, fatigue, or arthritis. The ace? Danger isn't just the attack itself. It's the damage left behind when warning signs are ignored. So let's decode these quiet cries for help, starting with 2 symptoms you might be rationalizing right now. Take Margaret, a 72-year-old avid gardener. Last spring, she noticed she'd need to sit down after repotting a single plant. "It's just the heat," she insisted, though her grandkids worried. What Margaret didn't realize? Silent heart. Attacks strain the heart, forcing it to work overtime. Your body responds by slamming the brakes on energy. Not the gradual decline of aging, but a "I can't lift this coffee cup" exhaustion. The key clue? It hits after routine tasks you've done for years. Here's how to spot it. Tomorrow morning, pay attention to how you feel after getting dressed. If buttoning a shirt leaves you breathless or your arms feel like lead, don't write it off. Grab a sticky note and write, "Ask doctor about heart check." Slap it on your fridge. For Margaret, that simple reminder led to a stress test that caught 80% blockage in an artery, now repaired with a stent. Then there's Sam, 75, who blamed his shortness of breath on COVID pounds. But here's what set his symptom apart. He'd wake up gasping at 3 a.m., propping himself up with pillows to breathe. No wheezing, no cough, just air hunger that vanished by dawn. What Sam didn't know? When a weakened heart can't pump efficiently, fluid leaks into lungs overnight. It's not asthma or snoring. It's your circulatory system waving a red flag. Try this tonight. Place 2 extra pillows under your head before bed. If sitting upright helps you breathe easier, tell your doctor, "I'm having to sleep like a pretzel to catch my breath." That phrase flags heart-related fluid buildup. For Sam, it meant starting medication that cleared his lungs in days, and finally getting a full night's rest. But perhaps the most dangerous symptom is the one that feels completely unrelated to your heart. It's not in your chest. It's not in your lungs. In fact, you might be feeling it right now in a place doctors say surprises even them. You know that gnawing feeling in your gut after a heavy meal? The one you blame on last night's meatloaf? Let me tell you about Evelyn. At 70, she prided herself on her cast-iron stomach. But one evening, after a light dinner of soup and crackers, a burning sensation settled behind her ribs. "Must have overdone the hot sauce," she told her son, popping antacids like candy. For 3 days, the fire in her chest came and went. Then, while watering her azaleas, her vision blurred. By the time her neighbor found her slumped against the garden hose, Evelyn's heart had been starving for oxygen for 72 hours. This is the cruel trick of silent heart attacks. They hijack sensations we've felt 1,000 times. That indigestion Evelyn dismissed? It wasn't her stomach, it was her heart crying out from beneath her breastbone. And here's why this matters. When blood flow slows, your heart muscle screams. But because those nerves overlap with your esophagus and stomach, your brain gets confused. It's like a crossed wire, your body's alarm system ringing the wrong bell. Here's how to tell the difference. Squeeze a lemon wedge into a glass of water. If drinking it soothes the burn, it's likely acid reflux. If the fire persists, or spreads to your jaw, neck, or shoulders, it's time to call 911. For Evelyn, that test could have meant bypass surgery instead of a quadruple bypass. Now, let's talk about the symptom that's hardest to see, because it's not in your body. It's in your mind. Frank, a 78-year-old retired engineer, started forgetting where he parked his car at the grocery store. His daughter joked about senior moments, but Frank felt a deeper unease. He'd stare at his crossword puzzles, unable to grasp simple words. What no one connected. Silent heart attacks can starve the brain of oxygen, causing fog-like confusion. It's not dementia, it's your heart faltering. Try this today. After reading the newspaper, try summarizing the main story in 3 sentences. If you struggle to piece it together, not because you're distracted, but because the words feel slippery, say this to your doctor. I'm having trouble connecting thoughts. That phrase flags reduced blood flow to the brain. For Frank, it led to a pacemaker that sharpened his mind within weeks. But here's where hope kicks in. Meet Louise, 81, who noticed her ankles swelling like overstuffed sausages. Her doctor prescribed water pills, but the real fix was simpler, a 10-minute daily habit. Every morning, Louise now lies flat on her bed, legs propped vertically against the wall. This gravity drain helps fluid escape her legs and eases her heart's workload. Within 2 weeks, her shoe size returned to normal, and her energy skyrocketed. If you're still watching and finding these insights useful, drop a number 4 in the comments to let me know you're here. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a video. Your support helps us keep bringing you valuable content to inform and inspire. Now, let's address the symptom that's cost seniors more than just their health. It's drained life savings, strained families, and stolen golden years. It doesn't wear a hospital gown or sound an alarm. In fact, it's hiding in plain sight in a place you'd never think to check. You're sitting at the kitchen table staring at a bill you've paid a dozen times before, but suddenly, the numbers swim. Your mind races, your palms go damp, and a wave of panic tightens your chest. You tell yourself, this is just stress. But what if it's not? What if your heart is so strained it's hijacking your thoughts? Meet Eleanor, 78, a former school principal who prided herself on her sharp memory. Last fall, she began forgetting grandkids' birthdays and losing track of conversations. Just aging, her family sighed. Until one evening, mid-sentence, she froze. Words evaporated. Her heart rate spiked and she burst into tears, terrified by the mental fog. Tests later revealed a silent heart attack had reduced blood flow to her brain, scrambling her cognition. I thought I was losing my mind, she admitted. Not once did I think it was my heart. This is the cruelest trick of silent heart attacks. They masquerade as mental decline. When your heart struggles to pump oxygen-rich blood, your brain starves. The result? Unexplained confusion, forgetfulness, or sudden anxiety. Symptoms often mislabeled as dementia or senior moments. But here's the hope. For Eleanor, medication and a stent restored her clarity. Today, she's back to hosting trivia nights at her retirement community. Here's your power move. If you or a loved one notices abrupt mental shifts, like struggling to recall familiar names or feeling unusually agitated, ask your doctor, could this be related to my heart? That simple question can redirect the search for answers. Now let's talk about the symptom that's easiest to dismiss because it's too common. Persistent aches you've learned to live with. Arthur, 80, blamed his upper back pain on decades of gardening. Just part of the package, he'd grumble, popping aspirin. But when the ache spread to his teeth, yes, his teeth, his daughter dragged him to a cardiologist. The verdict? A silent heart attack had damaged nerves that radiated pain far beyond his chest. Try this tonight. Press a fingertip where the ache lives. If it's muscular, pressure will intensify the pain. If it's heart-related, the discomfort will stubbornly linger. unaffected by touch. For Arthur, recognizing this difference uncovered a 95% blocked artery. Now he tends his tomatoes pain-free. But perhaps the greatest danger isn't the symptoms themselves. It's the stories we tell to explain them away. I'm too old for this. It's just my body breaking down. Let's rewrite that narrative. Imagine this. 3 months from today, waking up with energy to spare, walking through the park without clutching your chest, laughing with friends without that nagging jaw tightness. This isn't a fantasy. It's what happens when we listen to our body's whispers before they scream. Your turn. Drop a comment below and share one tip you'll try first. Whether it's tracking your fatigue, testing your breath, or questioning that indigestion, your words might inspire someone else to act. And if you found this video helpful, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone you care about. Your support fuels our mission to bring you life-saving insights. Remember, growing older isn't about surrendering to limitations. It's about mastering the signs your body sends. Here's to your strongest, sharpest, most vibrant chapter yet. We'll see you in the next video.